What's up, guys? Beer here back in the Fantasy Bar. 6 of my favorite plays for you for Week 6 on FanDuel and DraftKings, including what stud receiver am I paying up for this week that's been struggling, a couple workhorse running backs that aren't priced like workhorse running backs, a cheap quarterback play for you, and my favorite high-risk, high-reward play on the slate. Who are we talking about? Belly up to the Fantasy Bar and find out. What's up, guys? Welcome in Week 6 edition Beers Daily Fantasy 6-pack back here in the Fantasy Bar. Once again, 6 guys fresh off the tap for you for Week 6 on FanDuel and DraftKings. Hopefully you had a good Week 5. Let's go back and recap some of the picks from last week. Adam Thielen was in the 6-pack, obviously hit big for us in that game against the Giants. The squeaky wheel narrative definitely paid off on that one. Noah Fant was a miss for us. Only one catch in that game. Got caught up in that cheap price tag. I still think there'll be days we can play Noah Fant. Unfortunately, it was not in Week 5. Deshaun Watson, big hit for us as well. Was popular. One of the higher-owned quarterbacks, but for a reason, torched the Atlanta Falcons. Had to have him in those lineups. So glad we hit on him. DeAndre Hopkins was our pairing. Obviously wanted to be with Will Fuller there. Hopkins not bad, but we needed more out of that price tag there with 8 receptions for 88 yards. David Montgomery found the end zone, but game script got away from him, so I was a little disappointed by his performance. And Zeke Elliott, same thing. Game got out of hand. Looked good on the ground. The numbers were okay, but needed more there against the Green Bay Packers. So let's go back to the drawing board here. In Week 6, we had some hits. We had some misses. That's how it's going to be. And remember, guys, this is my opinion. These are guys I like. Just trying to give you the information. If they match up with what you like, perfect. Put them in those lineups. If not, you don't have to play them. Not required here. If you want to fade them all, whatever you want to do, that's up to you. I'm just here letting you know who I like here in Week 6. So let's get started with this week's video. Again, high-end wide receiver. We're going to start with Julio Jones of the Falcons. So expensive, no doubt. Highest priced receiver on both sites. And normally these are guys I'm not going to hand out, but I want to pay up for Julio Jones here against Arizona. A couple lackluster games. Last 2 weeks have not gone well for Julio Jones. Last week it was Sanu finding the end zone. We get a shootout. Still does not produce. I think that may stop some people from rostering Julio Jones. I'm not saying he's going to be low-owned. I'm not saying anyone's not going to play him. But that may cause enough people to hesitate. Well, we get him at a decent ownership here. And I think that's what's going to happen in Week 6. Arizona really struggling against the pass. 27th in DVOA against the pass. Still no Patrick Peterson back there to guard Julio Jones. This guy is too good to be held down for this many weeks in a row. So you pay the expensive price. I think it's worth it here on Julio Jones against the Cardinals. All right, let's move on. Running back position, we're going to roll with Chris Carson of Seattle. So you've seen Carson in here quite a few times this season already. And why? Because this guy's a workhorse and you're not paying workhorse prices for him. $6,000 on DraftKings, $7,200 on FanDuel. This dude's averaging 27 touches per week over the last 2 games. So the fumble concerns, Rashad Penny's return, all of that you can throw to the side because this guy's been productive and running with a purpose. And the Browns, you saw it on Monday Night Football. Matt Breida breaking off a long run. Tevin Coleman, fresh off an injury, tearing this defense apart. They've allowed the 8th most fantasy points to running backs so far. So give me a guy, yes, it's on the road, but they are favorites. They clearly want to run the ball as much as Russell Wilson has picked it up in the passing game. This is still a run-first team. And if I can get a guy carrying the ball, touching the ball 25, 27, 30 times in a game at these prices, I am buying all day long, and I'll be doing that this week with Chris Carson. All right, to the tight end position, we're going with George Kittle of the Niners. $5,200 on DraftKings, $6,500 on FanDuel. Great prices here on George Kittle. And what I really like is Austin Hooper going to be a popular option. We know the Cardinals give up a ton of fantasy production. A lot of people are going to go that way with Austin Hooper, and I'm fine with that. I get it. We've picked on that matchup many a times this season, but when I can spend a little bit more and get George Kittle, I'm going to go that route here, especially at lower ownership than what you're going to have on Austin Hooper. When you look at DK, that $5,200, cheapest price we've gotten on George Kittle all season long. And when you look at his history against the Rams, obviously hasn't been in the league for a while, but very, very productive. Back in 2017, 100 yards. And in 2 games last year, 14 receptions, almost 250 yards and scored a touchdown in each of those games. So we know the Rams vulnerable through the air. I think George Kittle gets it done here, and the price too much for me to ignore here on both sides on the stud tight end. All right, I mentioned a high risk, high reward play this week. We're going to go back to Minnesota. We're going to go back to the wide receivers, but we're going to flip to the other side with Stefon Diggs. So Thielen was good to us last week. I think Diggs can be good to us this week. 5,900 on DraftKings, fine. 5,800 on FanDuel. Really stands out as a guy I want to get into my lineup. So is it risky? Absolutely. We've seen some down games from Diggs. Is he even interested in playing for this team? Does he want to be traded? There's a lot going on there, but I think that will scare some people away. But when we can get leverage and lower ownership on some of these uncertain situations, those are situations that I want to jump in and attack, especially against a team like the Eagles. We know this secondary, not very good, 4th most fantasy points allowed to the wide receiver position. And when you stack up a Kirk Cousins, a Stefon Diggs, you're going to get low ownership. It's not going to cost you a ton, especially on FanDuel. We know the Eagles very good against the run. That could help open up more for the passing attack here. So Stefon Diggs, again, very risky, but a guy I'm willing to roll the dice on. Love this matchup with Philly and love that price, especially on FanDuel at just 5,800. All right, let's go to the quarterback position. We're going to go with some value here. Some great guys at the high end, no doubt. We're going to go down towards the bottom with the mustache himself, Gardner Minshew of the Jaguars. So you look at his box scores, this guy just continues to outproduce the number each and every week, and I think he can do that here again at 5,000 on DraftKings, can easily get us into the 20s. Now you're talking about a 4-5x return. In fact, has given you at least 16 fantasy points in every game. So in cash games, you're looking for that 3x return. He's basically giving you that as the floor, and a 5x return is what you're going to get as far as ceiling goes. And we saw that last week against a pretty good defense in the Carolina Panthers. Now you get the New Orleans Saints outside of their dome, 20th in DVOA against the pass, bottom 5 in fantasy points allowed to the quarterback position. Who do you pair him with? I'm going to leave that up to you guys. You have a few options. DJ Chark, way underpriced on DraftKings, specifically at 5,500, who's been an absolute stud. And then there's D.D. Westbrook, who I really like as well, matching up in the slot with P.J. Williams. That has been a very valuable spot to be. So I think you could go with either one of those guys. Again, we'll leave that up to you guys. Wish we had more room here in the fantasy bar to make more selections. But I love this spot for Gardner Minshew. The Saints' run D's been solid. Their pass D leaving a lot to be desired. I think the Jags can score some points here at home behind the right arm and that mustache of Gardner Minshew. All right, it's time to take a look at my favorite play on the week. But before we do that, guys, I need a few things from you. First of all, subscribe to the channel. Then you'll know when the videos are coming out. Make life easy on you. And as always, that's the goal here, to make life easy on you. If you enjoy the video, thumbs up button really helps us out, guys. Means a lot to me. If you want to be one of those donkeys that leave a thumbs down, be that guy, be a hater, go ahead and do that. But I appreciate the thumbs up, guys. And contest time. That's right. We want to do a giveaway just for you guys as a thank you for stopping by and supporting the Fantasy Bar. So as always, closest fantasy point guess to my Beast of the Week is going to win either a free week of RotoGrinders Premium or a free RotoGrinders t-shirt if you're already an RG Premium subscriber. And we thank you for that. So absolutely free. Once again, comment section, fantasy points for my Beast of the Week. Don't give me the stat line. So let's get to it. Who is it? Take a look at my favorite play. You know him as the Beast of the Week. All right, Beast time. I owe you one more running back here to round things out. I'm going to give you another workhorse running back that's not priced appropriately, and that's LeVeon Bell of the Jets, this week's Beast of the Week. So you look at his prices, 6,400 on DraftKings, 6,800 on FanDuel. This is a spot I want to attack, and I'm not a huge LeVeon Bell guy. Was not a big fan coming into the season. Didn't really draft him in many season-long leagues, but we're throwing all that aside here. When I see these prices and I see the workload this guy's getting, 22 or more touches in every single game this season. You look at some of the guys he's priced with, this is just a mispricing, especially in FanDuel at only 6,800, and the Cowboys just got steamrolled by Aaron Jones, 4 touchdowns. DVOA rank is 20th. The Jets get Sam Darnold back, which is going to be great for every part of this offense. Also get Chris Herndon back. So you have Darnold to Herndon. You have Robbie Anderson, who eventually is going to have some big games. You have Jamison Crowder in the passing game. There's a lot there that can open things up, and we know LeVeon Bell going to be involved in the passing attack, going to catch passes. I think the Jets can score some points here at home against Dallas. I think Le'Veon Bell, a big reason why they hang in this game, potentially win this game. Le'Veon Bell, easily my favorite play of Week 6 in this week's Beast of the Week. All right, guys, that wraps up here for Week 6. If you have any comments, questions, feedback, guys, whatever you want to talk about, I'll be checking that comment section right below the video. Don't forget, get your fantasy points for Le'Veon Bell. Let's go with DraftKings this week. So Le'Veon Bell on DraftKings, closest is going to win that RG Premium Week or a free t-shirt. For RotoGrinders.com, I am Beer saying salut. Best of luck this week, guys. If you're looking for the Yahoo video, that'll be out sometime tomorrow, so keep an eye on that. Thank you once again for supporting the Fantasy Bar, and good luck this weekend.
Hey, thanks for checking out our videos. If you want more expert advice on DraftKings, FanDuel, or any other daily fantasy sports, make sure you check out the current videos playlist.